Was it Punjab Chief Minister versus the Punjab farmers? Did an angry Bhagwant Mann storm out of a meeting with the Samyukt Kisan Morcha?
केजरीवाल ਦੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਕਸੂਰ ਤੇ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿੱਤਣ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਕੱਢ ਦਿਓ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਇਹ ਛਾਪੇਮਾਰੀ ਕਦਮ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਬਰਦਸਤ ਢੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਮਜ਼ਦੂਰ ਸੰਘਰਸ਼ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਤੇ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਮਜ਼ਦੂਰ ਮੋਰਚਾ ਨਿੰਦਾ ਕਰਦਾ
ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਡਰ ਕੇ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਿਨਾ ਮੋਰਚਾ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਿੱਤਰ ਕੀੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਕਿਸਾਨੀ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਚੋਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਘੱਟ ਖੇਤ ਗਏ ਹੋਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਖੇਤ ਜਾਣਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਪਰ ਇਹ ਨਾ ਕਹੋ ਕਿ ਮੋਰਚਾ ਵੀ ਜਾਰੀ ਰਹੂਗਾ ਤੇ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਅੱਜ ਵਾਲੀ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਸਾਰੀ ਕੈਂਸਲ ਹੈ
The SKM had called for a week-long dharna in Chandigarh starting 5th in support of their demands. Talks between the Punjab government and the SKM leaders to discuss these demands broke down midway. On 3rd March, when farm leaders claimed, a livid Bhagwant Mann walked out of the meeting in a huff without any provocation. However, Mann claims his doors to the farmers are always open. But inconvenience and harassment to the public in the name of agitation should be avoided. Is there a shift in Punjab's farm policy? Meanwhile, it's Chalo Chandigarh for the farmers. All right, so we've already laid the premise of our debate number 1 onto the point this evening. But once again, I'm going to take you back as this face-off brews between Bhagwant Mann and the farmers in Punjab. Like I pointed out, most of them from the Samyukt Kisan Morcha. Taking you through on who are the protesting farmers. They have come under the clarion call of Chandigarh Chalo. This call was made by the Samyukt Kisan Morcha on March 5th. The SKM is an umbrella group of 37 farm unions, spearheaded year-long protests in 2020-21 at the Delhi border, if you remember. What is also important to remember, viewers, is that the then government, which was also the Aam Aadmi Party, stood shoulders to shoulder with the farmers when they were protesting in Delhi. What has led to a possible change of heart? Is there a change of heart when it comes down to the Aam Aadmi Party-led government in Punjab vis-a-vis the farmers protesting there? We're going to try and put the focus on that. But let's take you now to what are the demands of these farmers. Well, the farmers want a coordinate with the centre, enacted through, of course, the Punjab government, a framework for debt relief. Fulfill commitments to kin of farmers who died during Delhi protests. There have been hundreds of farmers who had died when the farmers were protesting in Delhi. The farmers want the commitments which were made by successive Punjab government as well as the central government to come good on that. And the Punjab government to put pressure on the central government to own up to the promises that were made to the farm unions then. Moreover, the farmers want the MSP for crops like basmati rice, maize, moong, potatoes, peas, compensate for losses incurred due to delayed procurement of paddy, one-time settlement scheme for loans, waiver of electricity bills for installed motors. Now, this is one of the lacunas here, viewers, because the farmers here are wanting waiver of electricity bill on domestic meters. They already get free electricity under the agriculture electricity scheme. Now, issuing rifle licenses to farmers to prevent crop damage. This is what the farmers want. They also want implementing prepaid electricity meters for farmers, banning forced supply of nano packaging and other products, providing compensation for sugarcane crop damage, incorporate suggestions from farmers, organizations into policy. So these are the demands that have been, most of the demands that have been made by the farmers. There are, a few of the demands which we're also going to touch on, which many say is inappropriate for the farmers to ask. We'll take it to the farm unions. But what has been, because Punjab has been a state, viewers, that has seen a lot of farm movements. The one that we saw in 2020, 2021, which played out at the Singhu border of the national capital, also largely was fueled by farmers coming in from Punjab. And one of the morchas there was fronted by the SKM, which is now in contention with the Punjab government. Let's talk just about what the history of the farmer government face-off has been in Punjab. 2020-21, Centre's 3 farm laws first triggered a small-scale protest in Punjab. Mind you, if our viewers remember, that massive scale of protest that we saw in the national capital actually stemmed in Punjab. For many days, weeks actually at end, the protesting farmers squatted in and around Chandigarh and then slowly gravitated and moved towards Delhi. Farm unions then organized tractor marches and rail blockades. Farmers protested outside houses of leaders and BJP and even Chirmani Akali Dal. 2024 onwards, of course, because then the 3 farm laws were taken back. There was a lull, a couple of protests in 2024, which has led to the current protest as a continuation of the previous movements, demand legal guarantees for MSP and loan forgiveness. In the middle of it, there have been a few face-offs which have been unforgiving for both the police and the farmers, because the farmers have marched in from Punjab into Haryana, and if you remember, there was a farmer who also lost his life in alleged police firing. So all of that now playing into another face-off brewing in Punjab between the Punjab government and the Samyukt Kisan Morcha farmers. They're also being joined by other groups as well. But what led to the biggest flashpoint was when Bhagwant Mann, the Chief Minister of Punjab, while the meeting was on, suddenly decided to leave the meeting in a huff. The farmers say he left without provocation. Bhagwant Mann says that, my doors are always open, but not at the cost of inconveniencing the people of Punjab, and Punjab cannot be known as a dharna state. At the back of it, there are certain questions that we pose this evening. Our first question, who was right, the government or the agitating farmers? That's the big conundrum, viewers, because that's been a question that has been asked multiple times over ever since we've seen massive farm protests starting all the way in 2020. The other question that we are asking this evening, from being placative, because mind you, the Punjab government was always very placative of the farmers. They actually stood and took on the central government when in firing one farmer had died in Haryana. In 2020, the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi stood shoulder to shoulder with the farmers. So the question that we are asking this evening, has the Punjab government changed its strategy when it comes down to its farmer policy, how to deal with farmers? The larger question stemming from there, are farmers being unreasonable? And has the government failed to deliver on promises to farmers? And are successive governments losing patience with farmers? Does India lack a cohesive agriculture policy? Is the final question that we are asking this evening. All right, I want to cut across right now to our panelists. R.P. Singh, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, Dr. Sunny Singh Ahluwalia, Spokesperson, Aam Aadmi Party, Ravneet Singh Brar, National Spokesperson, BKU Kadyan. But BKU Kadyan faction is also part of the SKM faction, which is protesting right now in Punjab. I want to begin with the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, Dr. Sunny Singh Ahluwalia, and the question, sir, is very straight. Let's go back to 2020. The Samyukt Kisan Morcha was one of the key factions that was holding protests at the Singhu border for over a year. At that point of time, the Delhi government, headed by then Arvind Kejriwal, stood shoulder to shoulder with these farmers, accusing the central government of not listening to them. Has there been a change in strategy? Because last year, when there were firing on farmers in Haryana, Bhagwant Mann once again spoke up for the same faction, on which that meeting which took place yesterday, he walked out now. Is there a shift in strategy by the Punjab government when it comes down to how to deal with farmers?
Preeti, definitely there is no change. The agriculture state of Punjab, the top priority remains that our farmers, whatever their demands are, we should sit on the table, we should negotiate for them. The Chief Minister of Punjab has been negotiating with the center team as well. But when it comes to holding a big protest, you can very well know that Punjab is already the border state. And on the border state, when we enter from Haryana, there is only one entry, that is from Haryana, or we can enter from Rajasthan. The Haryana entry is blocked from one side. That is blocked from the Haryana side as well. And there are some farmers protesting at that. And then we have one more entry where also there is little blockage there also. So there is a heavy rush which is coming to the Punjab via Chandigarh. And the farmers, when the chief minister is ready to negotiate on everything, on their every demand, then they should not say that we will even come to Chandigarh and will roko the Chandigarh at the same time for 1 week long. It will cause inconvenience to not only to the public, to the industry of Punjab. At one time, the Punjab government, the chief minister of Punjab is trying to negotiate with the center and is also negotiating with the Punjab farmers. Out of their 18 demands, the 9 demands were accepted on the first day. After accepting 9 demands, if the farmer association at any time says that we will block the roads, this is not a way. We are living in a state where there are other people also. There are industries there are traders there are
Okay.
school going
Sari Singh
kids also there.
Ahluwalia,
So
as I bring in Ravneet Singh Brar into this conversation, the language you're speaking, Mr. Dr. Ahluwalia, is exactly the language which the centre spoke in 2020, that this is causing inconvenience, traffic jams. There are other people that you're inconveniencing.
no, but I'm saying that if there are five ways which are coming to Punjab, and out of that, two ways are blocked, then what is the area? How can we see our business? How can we see other things as well? When there are 10 multiple places coming to one place, then you can see what happens. But when we are ready to negotiate, the center was never ready to negotiate. Even now, the problem is with the center that the center promised the legal guarantee on the MSP, but they are not giving the legal guarantee on MSP. Now we are trying to negotiate at the same time, but that doesn't mean that you block the state highways from all the sides. So it is our request to the farmers. We are ready to negotiate at every time with farmers. Farmers are our andata. They provide, they are the food capital. They are providing everything for the India. They are providing everything, the rice, the wheat, which is required. At one time, there is shortage of wheat all over India, but the Punjab farmers are providing that. But at the same time, we want to negotiate. We don't want the state to suffer.
Okay.
Even the wheat carrying the railways through the
Okay.
railways, if we stop that
All right, I'll
also,
come
there
back
will
to
be a
you.
big
Okay, I'm going to circle back to you. I want to cut across to Ravneet Singh Brar. Ravneet Singh Brar, the Chief Minister of the Aam Aadmi Party Chief Minister of Punjab, is very clear, saying, is at least what is being alleged right now on the show, that our doors are open, but you've got to be reasonable. You cannot be unreasonable and inconvenience the people by blocking all routes, number one. Number two, Ravneet Singh Brar, the list of demands, and I'm going through them, and correct me if I'm wrong, sir. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it also has some bizarre demands of change the national education policy. What do farmers have to do with the NEP?
Thank you, Preeti ji. Let me start with just few corrections, my panelists sitting across me, because we are coming to Chandigarh not to block roads. We already had a meeting with Chandigarh administration. It was additional deputy commissioner on Friday, and we asked him to allocate us Sector 34 ground or some other ground where we can sit and protest for a week long. And it was earlier we came last year, and for a day we came to Sector 34. It was a peaceful protest, and we went back from the route that was designed for us. Same way we wanted to come this time, and we were keen to sit there, just because otherwise our demands, which were 18 demands we were discussing, out of 18, 12 demands were the demands which Chief Minister of Punjab has already agreed to it. In 2023, 19th December, we had a meeting with Honorable Chief Minister, sir, and he agreed to 12 demands, but none of it was implemented on ground. That's why we came again, and we wanted to discuss every time we have a meeting, but the demands are not implemented on the ground. And other thing, we were coming from different parts of the Punjab, not to block highways or to block railways as it is portrayed by Chief Minister sir and other panelists. We were coming straight from Punjab and entering a point, a ground or something like Ramlila ground in Delhi, or there is a ground in 25 sector or 34 sector. We would be sitting there and we would be providing our demands to have a meeting with CM sir so that it should be fulfilled. And the other thing, the policy for education. Yes, we were concerned because even our children goes to school, and we were concerned about the changes in the policy. That's why we were bothered.
Ravneet Singh
And
Barar, I'll
the
come back
other,
to you on policy because I want to bring in the BJP spokesperson because I will come back, sir, and maybe, you can touch upon that because the question I will raise, and I will give you some time to think about it. If farmers are protesting, you would hope that they at least limit their demands to what really matters to them immediately. But to nationalize licenses of arms and weapons, scrap national education policy, don't put domestic electricity meters, even though, farmer electricity is already free, are some of the demands that can be debated and are worrisome, though. Why should farmers be putting these demands is the question. I'll come back to you. But I want to go in to the BJP spokesperson, RP Singh. RP Singh, the fact is, traditionally, historically, the context is that you have to occupy public space to protest. That is the right to protest, and that's the only way you build pressure on the establishment is to occupy public spaces. So, even though the Aam Aadmi Party suddenly seemed to suggest that you're inconveniencing people, though in 2020, this was your grouse, but the Aam Aadmi Party at that time was standing with the farmers. Do you see a hypocrisy there?
Preeti, issue is not what space they will pick up or where will they go and protest. This secondary. First is what happened in the meeting. There's the bigger concern. And why meeting was called off in a huff. There's another bigger concern. Well, I don't know, the farmer leaders have been telling that out of 18, 8 demands were discussed. And all of a sudden, Chief Minister Saab says that, no. You first promised me that you will not do agitation on 5th and then I'll go further. But there's no way to negotiate and talk. I mean, if you have made commitments, fulfill commitments. If we have made commitments, we should also fulfill commitments. And if they think that it has to be done by us, then why you are holding meetings? We're already holding meetings with the farmers. Our ministers are already holding meetings with the farmers. We'll resolve the issues as per the requirement of the farmers. But issue is that you are holding meeting, you make commitments. For example, in neighboring state in Haryana, MSP is there for every crop, even to the extent of vegetables also, but it's not there in Punjab. So obviously, for example, another state, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, they are given bonus of probably 175 rupees and 150 rupees over and above the MSP to the farmers on the wheat. For example, Rajasthan, if I rightly remember, is giving 6,000 plus 6,000 to the farmers as the Kisan Samman Nidhi. So every state has their own parameters and their own pointers to work on. But I mean, if you're discussing something, why do you walk out in a huff? That's the bigger concern. Was that once you come with a commitment that you're there to discuss and talk on a subject, then you don't come with it at all. My time gets over by 7:30 as some other engagement. But that doesn't work. But if you have made a commitment and the farmer leaders are on record saying that he said, has ample time, I'll discuss each and every issue. But we all know
so that's
Mr.
your
Bhagwant
question.
Mann has problem with the time in the evening.
Okay.
After 8 p.m. After 8 p.m. is difficult.
All right. Okay. I'm going to. The fact is, it can be amusing, but the political stands were completely different of the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP in 2020 when the farmers were protesting at the Singhu border. In politics, like they say, where you stand is where you sit. And now it seems to be completely the opposite. I'll go across back to the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. And there is a relevant point that has been raised by both the farm unions and now the BJP. Because Dr. Sunny Singh Ahluwalia, the BJP is asking the same questions that you asked the BJP in 2020, which is number one. Why walk out in a huff? Because the farm unions are saying this was completely, there was no provocation. The CM heard the farm unions and just walked off in a huff. What's the messaging that you're sending?
Preeti ji, one thing we want to make clear that the doors are still open for any kind of talks, any kind of negotiations with the farmer unions. We have never said that we're not going to talk. Number one, the negotiations will be still on. There is not a problem. We are ready to accept their demands, which will be done by the state government, by the Chief Minister of Punjab. That is for sure. RP Singh ji very clearly said that what was the reason of moving out. The Bharatiya Janata Party is the party when our farmer leaders were onto the fast for death. At that time also, they were not ready to talk. And after convincing them after writing them a letter, even from the Punjab Chief Minister. They were not ready to talk. And they are talking about us. They are telling us how to handle the situations. We are very clearly open to every kind of negotiations with the farmers. But Bharatiya Janata Party, you should only do one thing. You said that we will complete the demands. You tell us that you are not going to give the MSP to the farmers. We will fulfill it ourselves. If you are not ready,
Okay.
please mention. Don't say that we are ready to talk. We will talk and we will give MSP. The neighboring state is giving. The
But
neighboring
okay,
state is
as I
not
go to
giving.
Ravneet Singh Barar, the fact is,
clear-
Dr. Ahluwalia, you made promises a year and a half ago. You've not delivered on the promises, is what Mr. Barar is saying. That's their main reason they are here today.
No, the promise is, we are telling you what are their demands and how to go ahead with this. Now they are saying that the compensation has already been provided even for the people who were literally, who literally was, they
Okay.
died because of the farmer agitation in Delhi.
All
We
right. So you're
fulfilled
saying
that
you're
promise.
putting
The
a
Punjab
father
government
because
fulfilled that promise. But at the same time, the center, even after
okay.
repeated requests, even after getting 3-4 years, they are
You're
not
saying the
able to
centre is
do the
not
same.
delivering on their promises. Okay, I'm running short of time, but I want to get both our other guests back in. Ravneet Singh, there are two things. Number one, the Punjab government saying we're already providing a roadmap on fulfilling your demands. We've done what we needed to do. Now the centre's not delivering. How are you pinning the blame on us? Number one. Number two, Ravneet Singh Barar, the question that I asked you. How is nationalized license of arms and weapons, scrap the national education policy, do not put domestic electricity meters, relevant demands of farmers?
I'll come to the second point first. There is a correction. We never demanded don't put these meters on domestic thing. We asked for not to put prepaid meters in domestic. Now there is a correction, and there is a correction in arm license. We asked for license to be made simple so that in the areas of the Punjab where these jungly these animals come and they destroy our crops, there is a correction. The demands you are saying, these are not our demands. And third thing, there is a lot of difference in like there is an English saying, action speaks louder than words. Like Mr. Ahluwalia said, our doors are open. But what is happening in Punjab? Our doors are being shut and police is being standing in front of our doors, and our farm leaders are being arrested midnight at 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m. And the other thing, if our demands are not justified, if our demands were so bad, why Mr. CM agreed to it last year in 2022?
Okay.
Was the
But
demands
Ravneet Singh
different
Barar,
that time?
the
These are
Aam
the
Aadmi
demands.
Party is saying, the government is saying that we have fulfilled our demands. The demands that have not been fulfilled are from the centre.
No. There is a correction. These are the demands with
Preeti
Punjab
ji.
government. The demands with the central governments are totally different. These demands we come up for the protest on 5th. These were the demands that was agreed to us by Mr. CM.
Okay.
And these are the demands with the government of Punjab, not with the government of India.
Okay, so there's so much misinformation. I'm glad that you cleared that. RP Singh, to bring you back into this conversation and with what I ended on after you made your remarks. Interesting, RP Singh, because today you find yourself completely on the opposite fence on what you were in 2020. It's a tad bit more comfortable. You're sitting with the farmers this time.
No. Issue is we are already working on the demands. As I said, the next neighboring state, Haryana, MSP is on each and every crop. But just point aside, my concern is still why walkout of meeting in half. Why at 8 p.m.? Well, you're going to stay for another hour or so. Why? There's something to relate to 8 p.m. That's a bigger concern.
RP Singh ji, please don't the Chief Minister like this. When you don't know what is the reality,
I'm not
don't
saying anything,
blame
sir.
like this
Why
sitting on the channel. So this is not at all
Did I said anything? I simply said, why walk out? Why walk out in a half? I started with that. That's the concern.
Language
Concern is, why did he walk out a half?
Elected by the people of
Don't
Punjab.
you hold meetings after 8 p.m.?
Please, you're sitting on a national channel. Don't speak like this about our.
All right, let's all maintain decorum. Let's all respect Let's all maintain decorum. Let's all respect the constitutional post.
I simply saying, why walk out of a meeting which you started?
Mr. Barar, you want to come in 10 seconds and I want to move on, sir.
Please.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone should maintain decorum.
Preeti, there was a simple demand that we had yesterday. It was what variety of seeds we should buy for paddy. Because last year it was you should sow this variety of paddy, but when it came to procurement, we had lot of problems. So we asked our honorable CM what variety of seeds we should buy so that at the later stage there should be no problem in procurement. Isn't this demand just justified or it is not justified? Please come up, Mr. Ahluwalia, please let me know.
Well, I don't have the time. I wish I had the time. But Mr. Ahluwalia, 10 seconds and I need to go into a break quickly, sir.
I
justify demands which you are not.
I agree with Ramneet Brar.
Sir, allow him to answer. I'll come to you also for 10 seconds.
I agree with Ramneet Brar ji that whether the hybrid breed or some other breed seed should be there. I definitely agree that the things will be clear to them and everything will be explained. But
okay, so you're saying it will be explained.
Stop the roads. You will make a bigger protest.
Okay, RP Singh, 10 seconds you get, sir.
Very small point. First, I never meant anything else other than that he rushed out of the meeting. One, I mean, don't constitute anything into it. Secondly, that's the seeds which he is talking about. Yes, the state government should ensure that whatever seed they provide, they should also ensure that they will pick up the procurement of
okay, I've run out of
crop.
RP Singh ji, you have sent that hybrid breed.
Okay, you know we are going to keep getting into this tutu meme and this back. Okay, I'm gonna let it be. I appreciate all three of you for joining us, and we'll keep a keen eye on all developments that are taking place. 5th March, which is tomorrow, is the call for Chalo Chandigarh when it comes down to the various Kisan unions. Spearheading it is the Samyukt Kisan Morcha. With that, I'm going to move on to our next segment, which is the extra point on To The Point. This is a bizarre and a disconcerting story that has come to light from the state of Chhattisgarh, where there were 9 women sarpanches that were elected in Chhattisgarh from various areas. What's bizarre and a huge blow when it comes down to women empowerment is that all their husbands actually took the oath, not the women sarpanches. What you see on your television screens are sarpanch patis, and I'm sure a lot of you who know village politics understand what sarpanch patis are, where the husband of the woman sarpanch acts as a proxy. Now, usually we see that in administrative purposes, he acts as a proxy. This is for the first time we've seen them even take oath. So it's not the woman who was elected as sarpanch, but the husband who's taking oath. A huge, huge embarrassment coming in for the Chhattisgarh government, and a huge embarrassment for the women's movement and participation in democracy and the electoral process. Yogi Adityanath doubling down on Sambhal. Makes big declaration in the assembly.
अकेले संभल में 67 तीर्थ एक शरारत के तहत एक निश्चित समय के अंदर समाप्त कर दिया गया। 68 तीर्थों में से 54 तीर्थों को ढूंढना ये तो हमारी विरासत का हिस्सा है। जो हमारा है वो हमें मिल जाना चाहिए।
Yogi lays claim to Sambhal Mosque despite the case now in court. Takes on opposition. Samajwadi Party.
आप लोग भारत की आस्था के साथ खिलवाड़ करते हैं। आपने कहा कि हमारी सोच सांप्रदायिक है। आप मुझे बताइए कि हमारी सोच कहां से सांप्रदायिक है? हमारा तो आदर्श है सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः।
Hindutva already shaping UP politics before 2027 elections. Top focus on To The Point this evening. Welcome to our debate through this evening, and that's the question, the root question for our next political face-off. In this edition, I ask question 1. Is Yogi Adityanath clearly dialing up Hindutva post the Lok Sabha setback? Question 2, which we've asked, Hindutva already shaping UP politics before 2027 elections, but there could be a bit of a hitch in that. Can BJP actually sustain polarization pitch till 2027? You know, you can hark back to what happened in 2024 Lok Sabha election. The Ram Mandir happened, which peaked, and then there was a lull, and then the BJP didn't perform so well in Uttar Pradesh. So 2027 is still a long way. Can the BJP sustain the momentum till then? But ultimately, can Akhilesh's PDA, Pichla Dalit Adivasi, counter Yogi's Hindutva? Taking these questions to our political face-off this evening, joining me, Anila Singh, spokesperson UP BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson Samajwadi Party. Before we go to both our panelists, I want to quickly put the premise for this debate. Both panelists will get 2 minutes. There will be a counter when you're speaking, and the minute it touches 2 minutes, it's a hard cut. We won't be able to hear you. So Ghanshyam Tiwari, it's very clear now, Ghanshyam Tiwari. You know, many would suggest Sambal Bahana hai, the Nishana is 2027 elections. And it seems the Samajwadi Party really doesn't have the answer to it. Yogi Adityanath, without caring a damn, is doubling down on Hindutva.
Good evening, Preeti, to you, the viewers, and my fellow co-panelists. There are few important points. When I heard this sentence, "Jo hamara hai, wo hamara hi rahega," I realized that maybe for the first time BJP is taking on China, because Prime Minister acted in a way which did not demonstrate courage, and saying कि कोई नहीं आया था. Yogi Adityanath is going to tell China that जो हमारा है हम लेकर रहेंगे. Why is the land captured by China not part of virasat that Yogi Adityanath believes belongs to India and Indians? Point number one. Point number two, in the parliament session, MP after MP, across party lines, blamed, accused the UP government, including the Chief Minister, of conspiring in a murderous way that led to killing of people in Sambal. Not one member of parliament from BJP and NDA stood up and said that you are wrongly accusing the Chief Minister, you are wrongly accusing the BJP, or you are wrongly accusing the UP government of murderous conspiracy in Sambal. Point number three, that this same government cooked up a conspiracy saying that in Sambal they discovered bullets made in Pakistan. I attended debate on India Today, and that vanished, just like every other promise of Prime Minister Modi has vanished. Point number four, that we are seeing a carnage in the Indian stock markets. The growth story has vanished. It looks as clear as the jumlas of Prime Minister Modi. And as a result, no matter what ploy, what conspiracy, what murderous claims that you hatch, it will not return India to a growth story that can provide jobs to youth of Uttar Pradesh, that is the largest state of the country, where Yogi Adityanath has promised that by 2029, 2027, maybe 21-29, he will make UP a $1 trillion economy. Point number six, that here is the Chief Minister who, after the Uttar Pradesh election, was battling for his own chair. There is no trust between him and the Home Minister. So all this bravado is not aimed at people. Either it is propaganda aimed at people who did not get answers in Stampede, or the bravado is aimed at Home Minister Amit Shah that Yogi Adityanath is still in charge of UP campaign.
All right, okay, Ghanshyam Tiwari, that's a hard cut. I want to cut across to Anila Singh, who will get her 2 minutes now. Anila Singh, the fact is, despite the Places of Worship Act, you have the UP Chief Minister stating very clearly, जो हमारा है वो हमारा होगा या होना चाहिए. And, you know, the fact is also, Anila Singh, that when a campaign peaks in politics, the peaking period is very, very important. It needs to peak at the right time. Are you doubling down on Hindutva a tad bit early? Would you be able to sustain this campaign all the way till the January, February of 2027? Are you peaking too early in your campaign?
My Ram Ram to all, and Preeti, I'm so proud of Yogi Adityanath ji, not as a Chief Minister only, but as a face of Hindutva who is so bold that he can spell out what real Hindu, not halal Hindu, but real Hindu, real Sanatani wants. He is the one who can speak out. And this country really wanted leaders who can speak out, because this country was bifurcated on the lines of religion. Not on the lines of secularism, on the lines of religion. If I talk about Samajwadi Party is a small fish in big dirty pond of appeasement politics, which was started by Congress. Until date they are doing. This country was secular when Places of Worship Act was brought in 1991. Sanatanis were targeted. This country was secular when Waqf Act was empowered. All right, secular country. This country was secular when Ministry of Minority was made, Minority Commission was made. So this country was so secular when we talk about that, okay, perfect. All the things, the first right is of Muslims. This country was secular when they said, okay, perfect. This country is going to get first, minorities are going to get the first right on all the resources. So I can quote 100 examples when Sanatani Hindus were targeted, places of worship, they were ours. And we were waiting for independence to come so that we can claim the right. But this Congress party and the political parties like Samajwadi Party, they stood like wall in between Sanatani Hindus and the temple. They didn't allow us. So, jo hamara hai, hum wo lekar rahenge. You very well said that the peak time, peaking something is that tenure is a very smaller one. Are you? You said that, are you going to peak just before the elections, 2 years before the elections? No, this matter is not
okay, ma'am, hard cut. Ma'am, it's time up. I'll come back to you. One thing I'd like to just, humbly request Anila Singh. You're right that the country was partitioned on the basis of religion. But Anila Singh, as a spokesperson of a political party, I'm sure you understand and you accept that India was formed on the tenets of secularism. And the constitution says exactly that, even if you read the preamble. So I would hope you respect that when you're on the show, because we are not a Hindu Rashtra, we are a secular state. We might not want to be, or people might not want to be, but we are a secular state. All I'm saying, humbly saying, ma'am, we are not a Pakistan, we are not an Islamic state, we are not a Hindu Rashtra. We might have been divided on the basis of religion, but India has been built on the tenets of secularism. And I hope you accept that. I just want to move on. I want to bring Ghanshyam Tiwari back for his next 2 minutes. And my next question, Ghanshyam Tiwari, is very simple. The fact is, if Yogi Adityanath is now doubling down on Hindutva, and that is going to be the rhetoric for the next 1 year, does Akhilesh, with his PDA, really have it to cut into that?
Again, the answers are not in the claims and propaganda of BJP. The answers are in the day-to-day struggle of people of India. When youth day-to-day struggle with the fear that exam paper will be leaked because BJP, powered by propaganda, believes that only propaganda can win them elections, they should not deliver on anything. Then when the same youth, after multiple leakage of exam paper, eventually write an exam and the jobs are cancelled by the UP government, and while they are being promised of 2 crore jobs, their despair will define the trajectory of 2027 for BJP or Samajwadi Party. When Yogi Adityanath boldly says and stands with Braj Bhushan Sharan Singh, and all of BJP stands with Braj Bhushan Sharan Singh, the daughters of Uttar Pradesh will define the trajectory of BJP. When Yogi Adityanath boldly says that he is proud to practice the politics of Thakurs, that he is a Thakur, and there's nothing wrong with standing up for one, then the PDA will define who progresses more when a just, fair and constitutionally modeled government is in the state, rather than one man's propaganda. When the dust settles down and people still want to find the answer to the question that how many people died in the stampede in Kumbh, why only 10 lakh rupees compensation was given to the murder at the hands of administration in the Delhi railway station stampede, that answer will define the trajectory of 2027. I don't think that a strong chief minister will depend on propaganda. BJP has seen, he's not doubling down. Prime Minister doubled down when he started talking about all the kind of propagandist language and calling opposition a mujra in the 2024 election. He is just same fatal approach to BJP politics that one day will destruct the party, and Uttar Pradesh election will be that moment, that one day when BJP feels destructed because people have lost belief in them.
All right. Okay, that's a hard cut. Ghanshyam Tiwari, if I have time, I'll come back to you because it's interesting you blame Yogi Adityanath for Thakurwad and say that the PDA is going to cut through it. But Ghanshyam Tiwari, what's also interesting is maybe not in letter, but for all practical purposes, your party was also built on the tenets of MY. And you know what that stands for, Muslim and Yadav. You might want to turn it into PDA right now, but will it work is the big question. I'll come back to it. I want to bring back Anila Singh for her 2 minutes into this. Anila Singh, you had the Ram Mandir wave early January, where at least there was an assumption, and most people thought that UP especially is going to be saffron in 2024 Lok Sabha elections. That didn't quite happen. What happened was quite the reverse. Therefore, the question that I asked you, is the Hindutva campaign peaking too early? You know, will you be able to sustain what the BJP really does get a lot of, from polarization? Will you be able to sustain it till January 2027?
Preeti, first of all, for us, if I talk about faith, and you are quoting Ram Mandir here, let me tell you, whether it is about Kashi, whether it is about Mathura, whether it is about Ayodhya, or any of our religious places which are not being, which had not been given to us, which are not being given to us, and we are fighting for it. Though we won the Ram Mandir battle here, for us it is not the political centric matter. For us it is faith. For us it is our religion. It is the matter of our Devi and Devtas. This is the basic difference. And if I talk about Ram Mandir, like we had been fighting for it since more than 500 years. And after the demolition of Babri Masjid, you know it very well, what happened in the elections. We were never ever bothered about it, and we will not be bothered about it. And you said that our country has always been secular. Yes, ma'am, our country has always been secular. That is why we welcomed, whether these Islamic invaders or the British invaders, whoever, or the French invaders. But the reality is, if our country was secular, then why Mrs. Gandhi, after bringing 42nd Amendment in 1976, inducted the word secular in a preamble? It was forced on us. And that is a reality. Vande Mataram nahi गा सकते हैं ये. अपने आप को secular बोलेंगे. कि नहीं, केवल 2 पैरा रहेंगे. And the Muslim member of parliaments or the MLAs, they refuse कि हमें नहीं गाना है वंदे मातरम. जब कश्मीर जो है वहां पे हिंदू खत्म हो जाते हैं, तब ये बहुत बड़े सेकुलर होते हैं. Mass massacre of Sikhs happens and they are very secular people. I can quote you almost 20 riots where Hindus were, their throats were slit. What happened at that time? Were they secular? Of course not. This is the reality, ma'am, that they keep on targeting Sanatani Hindus, though they are in majority in Bharatvarsh, but still these political parties, they are ready to say, okay, you can have halal coffee, halal.
Ma'am, that's all the time that I have for now. I'm going to give 10 seconds again. I think we have 1 more minute to go. 10 seconds again to Ghanshyam Tiwari, and then I'll come back to you. Ghanshyam Tiwari, go ahead. I'll clock you. Go ahead, sir. Closing.
Well, I think to your viewers, I want to say that India is built not on hate, not on this throwing the kitchen sink of tragic events from history on the viewers and expecting them to believe in the BJP propaganda, but on the idea that everyone has to progress, and a government that cannot deliver that will use propaganda to hide itself.
Okay.
2027, BJP will be exposed because people will have lost faith in this propaganda.
Anila Singh, the same amount of time. Go ahead.
Samajwadi Party's leader Abu Azmi says Aurangzeb acha aadmi tha. We very well know that Aurangzeb kitna acha aadmi tha. And if I talk about the Sahibzadas, sons of Guru Gobind Singh, Fateh Singh Ji and Zorawar Singh Ji, his governor, Wazir Khan, he killed those young kids. And the Children's Day is celebrated in the name of Jawaharlal Nehru. Thanks to Narendra Modi Ji, we celebrate the day in December now. The reality of this political party is that...
I'm going to end it here. I'm going to end it here. The only thing, because you said that I said that India has always been secular. Yes, India has always been secular. But that's not what I was saying, Anila Singh. I was saying that India has been built on the tenets of secularism. And I'll just quote the Constitution, the preamble to you. It declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. This is what I was saying. We leave it for our viewers to decide on where they stand on it. I appreciate both of you for joining us with it. Thank you for watching.